Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at yet another wonderful mod, this time in the form of Construct a Custom Companion, which is being made by user Carol2015, and what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game, as it might be pretty evident from the name, it allows you to create your own custom companions, which is pretty cool, especially considering the fact that these companions do not count as normal vanilla Fallout 4 companions. So you can still walk around with Codsworth over there, or Curie, or whoever else, as well as one of these custom companions. And in fact, not just one custom companion, but you can actually have up to 3 of them. So effectively, you have your own small squad consisting of 3 custom companions, and also your typical follower, and well, that's just fun to have, and thankfully it's all pretty easy to do, though a little bit expensive. Now, to start out, what you need to actually create is one of these. This is the Personal Guard Radio, and this is how you actually create your custom companion. Now, you'll find this thing inside the workshop mode under Special, and then you just go over to right there, the Personal Guard Radio, which requires gear, oil, spring, steel, and screws to build. And even though it actually does have the little electrical attachment point right there, it does not need electricity to function. So once built, you can just go right into activating it and start making a custom companion. But I'm gonna warn you guys right now, you're gonna need caps. A lot of freaking caps, because that is how the game, or the mod rather, balances this whole custom companion thing. Rather than just magically giving you custom built people, you actually have to spend money to make them, and it can get pricey very, very quickly. So if we go to activate, you'll see we have a couple of options in here. We could go ahead and start making a bodyguard, or even a super mutant bodyguard, but that would go very poorly for us right now, because we actually need a new ability to be able to actually recruit them. And that's where this button right here comes in, the Add Leadership ability. And once you click that, you'll see we get the Dismiss and Recruit perk added to ourselves. And now when we go in here to hit E, we can actually recruit these people. Without those perks added to our character, it just doesn't work. You can still create someone, but you'll never be able to recruit them as a follower. And then the last option down here, you'll see that for, the quite mere price of 15,000 caps, you can recruit an additional companion. So again, this is a balancing feature for this mod, so you can't just boom, go straight up to having 3 of these custom companions. You make your first one, and then if you want any more, you're gonna have to pay an additional fee. Again, it's a balancing mechanism, and I quite like that, because, well, it makes this mod not feel cheaty in the slightest. So let's go and build ourselves just a normal bodyguard, and right here we get our first option. Do we want them to be essential or non-essential? So if they're essential, they'll be like your typical follower. If they get quote-unquote killed, they'll just lie on the ground until you give them a stim pack or resurrect them or whatever. If you make them non-essential, they will actually die. So if you're playing in a hardcore mode game, this is what you probably go with. If you're playing more casually, you'd go with this. Let's go for essential for this fella. And then you get to choose the sex of your bodyguard, and also I don't know if I'd call it species, but you can choose either regular male, regular female, or ghoul male or ghoul female, which is quite interesting. Now, there are some limitations with the ghouls, so I'm gonna go with just a male one for now, and I'll talk about those limitations a little bit later with these guys. So let's select that, and then you get to select the voice for your particular custom companion, which is fun, because if you want a male companion, but say you want him to have a female ghoul voice, you can actually do that. So you can make this character as weird as you want. So what the heck, let's go for a female rough voice on this particular fella. Oh, there he is, he just spawned right next to us. And now we get to customize him further. So we've made the person. Now we get to create what the person does. So the first is the weapon, and this is where the money starts coming into play. As you can see here, for a .44 caliber pistol, it's going to cost you 1,500 caps. If you want, say, an alien blaster, well, that's 12,000 caps, and this is the gun, or alternatively melee weapon, that this character will start with. So it's what they'll have by default in their inventory. And you pretty much have an option of whatever you like. Effectively, any weapon that's in the game should be in here somewhere for you to choose from, and you just gotta find what you want and then roll with it. So what the heck, let's give him a machete. There we go. That's cheap.
Just in the nick.
Oh, yes. Oh. Oh, I got confused there for a moment because, of course, I forgot I chose a female voice for this person. So, yes, that's always wonderful. Now, the next after the weapon is the outfit. Now, thankfully, you don't have to pay for the outfit. But again, basically any outfit you want in the game, like with the weapons, you can select from. Dear God, look at all of these freaking options. It's lovely. Actually, I think I saw what we were going to go with back here. If I can actually find it again. Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to find it again. Yeah, I don't think we're going to find it again. So let's just go with a random Wastelander. Oh no, Brotherhood Engineer Scribe outfit.
Good time.
There we go. And see, bam, they are now dressed in it. Next, we get to choose their combat style. Now, I'm a little bit sad because, as you can see here, we have their options for dialogue here, which technically you're not supposed to really be looking at until after you finish creating the person, but they spawned so close to me, which is one of the small issues with this mod at the moment. If they do spawn really close to you and the device, they can kind of overlap the speaking with you trying to figure out how you're going to make them. So, of course, well, let's continue with making. So after we created their suit, we can now choose their combat style. So I, of course, gave him a machete, so you'd think I'd choose melee. But you know what? I'm going to make him a sniper. So these are your different options here. You can go melee, offensive, or defensive, based melee, generic ranged, or offensive or defensive ranged, and, of course, finally, sniper, which... a sniper with a machete, that's perfect. And then we get to choose a buff. Now, we don't have to. If we just hit exit here, it'll go to the next option. Or we could spend caps to give them an additional strength. Now, this is really useful if you make them non-essential, because, say, giving them an extra 100 hit points could be very, very nice. So, of course, give them damage resistance, strength, agility, minus carry weight, or I guess that's actually supposed to be plus, but maybe small little mistake there in the typing. Increased healing rate, all of these wonderful things, up to plus 20% stability, so they're a lot more accurate, which for my sniper character, that'd be great, but let's actually just go with none, because, oh, I don't remember how much I've spent so far. So we'll go with exit and not give him a particular buff. Next is the style of how you want this person to stand around. So with weapons out, they'll always hold their weapon out with them, or weapon unequipped. When they're just sort of idly standing around, they'll put the weapon away. Let's go with weapon out. There we go, and we just spent 9,500 caps to create this strange fella who has a female voice. And now, what you need to do is actually recruit him to a settlement. Now, technically, we don't have to. We could walk away from this conversation and then come back and automatically recruit him, but it seems to go more smoothly if you recruit them to a settlement first. So let's just recruit him in.
Why?
And, oh god, that's so disconcerting having the female voice on that guy. But like I said, if that's what you want to go with, that's what you want to go with. So let's have him join us. And then it'll go to ask us where we want them. We'll choose Sanctuary Hills, of course.
Thanks.
And
in a day or two.
Yes, see you there, which you're here. And now you'll notice when we go and look at them, we can have them follow us. So let's just hit R. And there we go. They are now our companion and will follow us around just like any other companion should. If it gets its pathing correct. Oh, AI, what are you doing? But you'll notice with the weapons out, they do have, or this... It disappeared. Nope, there it is. I think it had some trouble trying to path to me, so it kind of glitched a bit. But I think that's more the game's fault rather than the mod's fault. But let's go over here where it should easily path, and you can see it's following us around quite nicely. And since I did have it select the weapon out option, this guy or girl, technically, possibly, is walking around with a machete all the time, which is somewhat disconcerting as well, but what are you going to do? Now, here's where more customization comes in. We can talk to this person and go to trade. And you get a fun new item when you install this mod. Into your apparel section, you get this, Reconstruct facial features. And if you give this to your personal custom companion and then tell them to equip it, once we close this dialogue, in 5 seconds, we will be able to actually change their appearance to whatever we want. So let's focus on the face. No, come back, come back. I need to focus on your face to make it easier to see. There we go. We are now in the face construction. So we could create this male with a female voice to make him more effeminate if we so desire by sculpting the face. And this is where things get a little weird, like I said, with the ghoul companions, because you can't actually change their faces. The game doesn't work quite well with doing that to ghoul characters, but we can, change this around to whatever we like, though it's acting a little bit glitchy at the moment. And I'll probably make things even worse for this poor fella, so let's just escape out of that. But nonetheless, you can go and change everything from the hair, the forehead, eyes, nose, anything you want on this particular character to customize them to exactly what you want this character to look like. Or, of course, if you're happy, you can just, hit done and let them live their life as themselves. Now, after you do that, you'll want to take this Reconstruct facial features back, because, of course, if you make any more companions, you're gonna want to throw that on them as well, so that you can change their faces too. And yeah, there we go. We have our personal bodyguard, who will follow us around. And if I actually go and grab Kiri again from where I've had her standing this episode, so she doesn't talk over me, and have her follow, you'll notice that it's no problem whatsoever. We still have Kiri as well as our other guy who, oh god, they're both having pathing issues, aren't they? Damn you, Fallout 4. Well, here comes Kiri at least. Where's our other guy? Ah, there he is. And excellent, so we can go on our adventures with both of them in tow, doing their job to keep me safe. And if we so desired, we could, of course, always go back to this machine and create another personal bodyguard for just an additional 15,000 caps, which I don't have at the moment. So I'll just stick with the one. And again, we could make them a ghoul or a super mutant, whichever you desire. It works quite well. Now, as for a few little bugs with this thing, if you do go to create another companion here, it will have the exact same face as the last one you edited. So if we change this guy's face, made another companion, that new companion would look identical. But then if we change that second person's face to be something unique, the third we created would look like the last one. So it's a kind of a weird thing, but thanks to having that facial reconstruction item in apparel, it doesn't matter too much, because you just gotta, remake the face every time to give them a unique flavor, and it should be perfectly okay and work, how you want it. Now, as for the voices, I've had some problems with the voices on the ghouls. I don't know if it's just an issue I've been having. I haven't seen anyone else having it on the post for this, so it might just be me, but the female voices don't seem to work well for the ghouls for me. Again, who knows if it'll happen for you. And other than that, I can't really think of other major things with it. Overall, it's just a fun mod. You can have multiple companions, you can customize their look, their behavior, everything about them, and that's fun. And so if you would like to try out this mod for yourself, you can take a look at the link in the description, as always, which of course is the Nexus, as that's what I prefer. But if you do enjoy Bethesda.net, it is on there as well. And in fact, it is also there for consoles, so you guys can play around with it too and enjoy a custom companion. But yes, that is going to be it for today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed, and of course that you do come back for the next. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.